Hello YouTube, welcome to the first video in the second series on this channel. This series will focus on actual programming, debugging, and general design and development of C# programs. Right now I'm looking at a program I'm working on for a local fire department to handle their permits for burning in the township. It's a very simple program, not a whole lot to it. Simple database and interface to create, edit, view, and print permits. The whole program itself probably won't be sold to them for more than a couple $100 and should last them indefinitely. Currently, the only major thing left to do is to import the data from the old database. The format for the CSV that I exported from the old database has been written up. The column numbers and the actual data and how it should be imported into the database. Right now I have a small issue that most of this video is probably going to focus on, in that as I iterate through the file, each line takes about 3 seconds to parse, and there isn't a whole lot of data in the program, in the actual line. So I'm not sure why it's taking so long. This is the official data. There's only about 300 and something different permits in the system. They've been using it for quite a while. It's a little bit faster than it was last time. I'm not sure why it took so long last time to do each row. It would go one row and then wait a couple moments and then go to the next row. Seems to be going at a fairly decent pace now, but still not as quickly as I would like it to go. The best way that I've found to try and find where your code stalls at, generally the quickest way, if you know the rough problem you're having, is to throw in some console lines at random points throughout the part of the code that's causing it to go as slow as it is. Run the program again, pull up your same window, and try importing it again. If you find a spot that it tends to hang at, in this case it doesn't seem to be hanging much at all, though it does at some points. I'm not sure why. Okay, I know why. I have it set so that it doesn't always get down to 3. Let's see if it's going in here. Basically, I have a try-catch block to show me when I'm getting a row load failure. These videos are intended at more advanced viewers, as they will probably be a little bit more fast-paced. I'm just going to basically code as I normally would and dialogue it so that you guys might have a little bit better of an understanding on how each of these pieces goes down. I saw that I got to row 2 and that the ones that didn't hit row 3 here failed. They crossed over into the row failure. So we're going to see if we can... I kind of want to pull out that exception, but I'm not really sure. Let's see here. Seems like they're not getting past the row 2-1, so they're getting to import dates and not farther. Import dates, as you can see, is this region right here. I've kind of cordoned it off from the rest by using a region statement. It's nice for organizing your different parts of your code. If you don't know much about exceptions, I definitely recommend that you look into them. They're fairly easy to work with in the basic way. Once you get into perhaps coding libraries for other people to use, you'll definitely need them. What I did here is I took a try-catch block. This catch basically works like a method. We're passing it the exception that's generated up here, the error. And inside this block we can use that exception. A message is the actual error message that you get, and a stack trace gives you a little bit of an idea as far as where it happened in the program. And this will spill out into our console now, and we might be able to figure out exactly which line is causing the error. Okay, I don't know if any of you know this, but if you take a console slider and click on it, the whole program pauses until you let go of it, and then it kind of spills everything out there again. Month, day, year, month, day parameters describe an unrepresentable date time at system.datetime.date to ticks. Okay. Year, month, day. Now, we can go a step farther. Instead, let's we're going to take these out. There are buttons up here, these two, to comment and uncomment a whole selected area. Definitely useful for things like that. We know where the error is occurring now, so we can get rid of most of our console writes, so that we can just focus on dates here. You'll see that the way that I'm importing these dates is a text file, and the dates themselves are stored something like this. So we'll do today's February 2nd, so they're stored like 2/20-2014, for example. And what I'm doing is I'm attempting to take this, split it by the / to get us 3 separate strings, like so. String 1, string 2, and string 3, and then I'm attempting to pass it to a new datetime variable. Down here, there are 3 separate dates: the date that the person applied for the permit, the start burning date, and the end burning date. And these are apparently failing, and it's not importing them. The actual error is that we're not getting a valid date time. So we're going to write the datetime variables that we are getting and see if we can figure out why it's not a valid date. What I'm doing here is taking the 3 strings that are in my 3 arrays and dragging them to the console so I can see what the actual data inside of them is. Run the program again, re-import our data, and we'll see what we get now. Okay, now it looks like they're coming through properly. 0 through 12 here, the larger numbers in the second, and then the year in the last one. So I'm not really sure why it's failing and why it says that it cannot work with those dates. So I can't use the exception. I don't believe that I can use my data down here because it's in a different block. Okay. Because this block ends before this one starts, any variables that I've made on it don't exist, so I cannot use those. What I could do is add another try-catch block here. So that it will only throw these out when it fails, and I should only see the data for the information that fails to load. Let's see what we get. Okay, so all these, or at least 1 in every 3, is failing to load. The first one, May 13th, 2011, May 13th, 2011, May 27th, 2011. Okay. See, all these numbers, they look like they should be correct. So I'm not really sure why they aren't loading. But we're going to see if we can figure out why here. Let's uncomment our error message. And we're going to copy that up here. Okay. Oops. Yep, always gotta have your trailing parenthesis. Alright, let's run our program again. See if we can find out why it's not working properly. Okay. Unrepresentable date time. Oh, it says line 111, line 113. 111 and 113. It doesn't look like there's ever a 12, so it doesn't look like range start ever fails. Which is odd. I wonder why. I wonder if there's a better way to take a string and convert it into a date. You'll find that a lot of your development involves quite a bit of research. I wonder if maybe I'm throwing them into the wrong spots, and that only errors, maybe my month and my date are backward, month and day are backwards. Let's see. Date time. Year, month, day. So the month should always be the middle. Ah. Okay. I think my day and my month may be backwards. Let's see again. According to this, the month is the first one, the day is the second one. Okay. So we should be able to... The month is the first one, and the day is the second one. Because these are all... Month is middle, day is last. Okay. Now, in theory, if I run it again, okay, now it ran almost instantly. So we fixed that issue by doing some fancy exception handling. Fancy exception viewing and trying to trace the error that we were getting. Now, I can also show you a really nice way to figure out how quickly your code actually runs. Okay, so as a bit of a recap, the video started with trying to import the data taking a very long time, a lot longer than what we wanted it to take. With a few modifications to the code to check when we were getting errors, we found out that the code was erroring almost every round, every time it tried to import something. By doing a little bit more debugging, we were able to narrow it down that it was erroring when it was trying to load the dates. Once we figured that out, a simple view of the way we were importing the data that was being imported, and the way we needed to import the data, in this case year, month, day, instead of year, day, month. We were then able to solve the issue by switching around a couple of arguments, and our problem is solved. Thank you very much for watching the video. In the next video, we'll probably continue to develop this particular piece of this program unless I do it off camera, because this does get finished at some point. You guys have a good time, and we'll see you next time.